Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Spiritual Productions TV and me, Ashley Robinson, your host and medium this evening, giving a demonstration of clairvoyance and mediumship. It's wonderful and exciting to be here with you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to see your comments, so please do let us know in the comment section where you're watching the stream from today. And if this is your first time, a warm welcome to you. Let us know. The opportunity tonight is that of an experiment. An experiment is the way I describe my mediumship, because every connection, every communicator is an experiment. But my job tonight for you as your medium is to provide evidence of life after death. The personality of your friends and family, your loved ones, I believe exist in that place I call heaven or the spirit world. My job is to bring forth that personality, evidence of that personality, to show there is a life after that change we call death. And then we'll move on and give them the opportunity to give you a message. I'm a very well-fed medium. You don't need to feed me any information. The only things you need to say to me are yes, no, true or false. If something doesn't make sense, then let me know. And when you are saying yes, please do say what you are saying yes to. If you are watching this in a watch party, great, and thank you to your friend for hosting the watch party. But please note that none of the comments we will see in that watch party, they will only be seen by the person hosting the watch party and the friends and family within that. So please do make sure that you are giving access to a live feed at Spiritual Productions TV on Facebook or YouTube, and comment directly on that feed if you wish to engage with Richard in the studio. And what Richard will do is whisper in my ear to say that you've made a comment and put those comments on the screen at the bottom. Please consider liking and sharing this. We'll always see your emojis and your face icons, and we want to try and keep Spiritual Productions TV free. So please love this, Fred, like it, laugh when appropriate. So I do like to work in an uplifting way, and let us know what you think of the evidence and what you think of the feed. But share this feed. Share this feed with your friends and family. Encourage them to jump on board and have a look. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share that various WhatsApp groups and other bits and pieces. So let people know what this is going. And after the show, please find my own page on Facebook at Ash Robinson Medium. So that's Ashley Robinson Spiritualist Medium. The handle is at Ashley at Robinson Medium. Please find my page afterwards and give that a like. If you have had a reading, please also leave a review. That would be very much appreciated. It's certainly been a warm, beautiful and sunny day in South London. I hope wherever you've been safe and you've enjoyed the day. We look forward to working with you in love, light and harmony this evening. I'd now like to do a couple of hellos. Hopefully there's a few of you that have started to comment and let us know where you're watching this from. And we'll do a couple of welcomes. There we go. We've had 120 hellos, Richard tells me in the studio, which is lovely. I assume that isn't my mum constantly saying hello. So Terry Louise Wall, good evening to you, and thank you for saying good evening to everyone. Mara Jade, hi from Australia. Good evening from South London. Julie, hello there. And Daddy Ray says, hi, son. Thank you, Dad. Some of my biggest fans, my mum and dad, great spiritual leaders as well, help me. Dawn Johnson, good evening to you. He says hello to us both. Julie Caswell, my good friend from Wimbledon. Good evening, Julie. Mary Dixie, my last circle leader. Mary, always great to have you watching over me. Eileen Macy says, evening, everybody. And as does Christine. Good evening to you, Christine. And Ruth Townsend, welcome, Ruth. Tracy Brown says, good to see you. It's great to see you too. Beautiful profile picture there with that sunset. I don't know if that's one you've posed for or not, but it's pretty fantastic. Great silhouette into that beautiful ocean scene there. John Newbury says, hello. Good evening, John. I believe that's a logo for YouTube. You're joining us from YouTube this evening. Good evening to you and hello. Rihanna Newbury, hello, and welcome to Spiritual Productions TV tonight. Natalie Newbury says, hello, Ashley, and everyone. Lovely, Natalie. Thank you. Kay Hart says she's watching from Torquay. Lovely. And Anne-Marie Porter is joining us today from Ireland. Anne-Marie, that's wonderful. And hello from Tennessee, one of my favourite parts of America and home to Jack Daniels. Sondra Steele Holt, lovely to hear from you. Had a brief visit to Lynchburg, Tennessee to see the old Jack Daniels distillery factory. That's my second favourite spirit after working with Mediumship tonight. Safe in the middle of winter in Australia, says Mara Jade. Family down in Brisbane on the coast there. Linda Buckley says it's wet and cold here in Ireland. My wife is half Irish. We've got some lovely reasons and excuses to pilgrimage out there, and it's always beautiful. Emma Pierce says hi from Hampshire. Emma, that's lovely. Thank you. Nice to hear from you. And Georgie Wood, little George, says good evening, Ash and Richard. George, always lovely to have you with us. My friend there from Wimbledon Spiritualist Church as well. And Carola Judge from Wimbledon as well. Good evening to you, Carol. Also, by the looks of it, joining us on YouTube. It's a real privilege to be able to do both streaming. Caroline says, first time this evening. So, Caroline, a warm welcome to you. Hopefully, from my explanation, you understand what it is we're going to try and do. And Kirsty Harper says, hi from Fife in Scotland. Great. Beautiful part of the world. When you're doing one-to-ones again, says Ellie Maria Lucas. So today will be a public demonstration of mediumship. Well, I will try and give readings, but in terms of a private one-to-one, I'm available for those most Tuesday evenings, usually after 8 o'clock UK time once I've got the boys to sleep. If you contact me on Facebook via @AshRobinsonMedium, I can give you some more details of those. Used to do them from Wimbledon Spiritualist Church on Tuesdays prior to lockdown. It seems that the challenges of working physically from a place of worship becoming harder all the time, like with mandatory face masks. Mark Wright says, good evening. Great show last night with your parents. So Mark, thanks for tuning in tonight and watching that show. Every 2 weeks, folks, I do a little bit of spiritualist philosophy, and last night I spoke about the concept of mediumship. Jason says, evening. Hello there, Jason. So do check out other things on Spiritual Productions TV. Lee Jackman says hello, and he's from Poole in Dorset, another beautiful part of the world. Karen says hi, Ashley. Good evening, Karen. I'm going to do one more. Julie, first time watching you demonstrate from Nottinghamshire. Julie Spencer, a warm welcome to you. First time watching. Lovely to have you with us this evening. I'll let some of those comments automate now at the bottom. What Richard will do is when we get to the demonstration of mediumship and I start to provide evidence, he'll be looking for people that can best understand the information as we've given it. Stacey Shaw, hello Richard Nash. Okay. Lee was a regular at Hatbridge till he moved to Poole, always a really friendly place. Michelle, another friend there from Ireland, first time to see us, as Jody says, evening. Lorna, thanks for watching again last night. Lorna's our mediumship booking secretary at Wimbledon. Done a lot of unbooking more recently than rebooking. And Wendy Payne says hello to Tina. James, first time seeing you tonight. Looking forward to it, as does Denise. Okay, so wonderful to have so many of you engaging with us. Really, really like that. And as I said, my job is to give evidence of life after death. So let's get on with that and try and give some evidence. The way that I work as a medium, you'll often hear me talk about my own personal memories, which form the palette of evidence available. I make it available to our communicators. My principal mediumship guide was someone I knew in my life while they were on Earth, Bob Brunton, a fantastic medium, healer and teacher at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, very much a godfather figure to me growing up. And I imagine him as some sort of bouncer or doorkeeper between the realms of earth and heaven. And I also imagine him organizing the equivalent of a waiting room. So you ask your friends and family to come forward as communicators. You're the one that is able to kind of bring them and send them my way. I'm not a DJ. I can't do requests. If I do make contact with you, I'll be sorry that if it's not the person you're looking to speak to, for example, your mum. But if your second cousin twice removed turns up, then hopefully you won't boot them out if they've given evidence of that life and personality. And we'll hopefully get some lovely evidence and some lovely messages for you. So I've got a lady communicating with me. As this lady communicates, she does almost whisper in my mind's eye the name Stacey. Stacey is the name I hear. Not sure if that's of the communicator or of the person at the moment. As this lady communicates with me, she talks about being mother. She was a mother. She shows me that letter M, mother, mother. She also, I'm asking about how she passed, and she is putting the letter C over her chest. And that is often symbolic for someone who has passed with cancer or a cancerous type condition. So I'm looking for someone that would be able to say yes to those bits of information in the comment sections. Tell it is that you're saying yes to. And we do need you to be able to say yes to everything. But I've got a woman here claiming that she's got a family online listening right now, that you would understand the significance of this name, Stacey. You'd understand the significance of this communicator who is mother and passed with a cancerous type condition. She's given me the anniversary of June, and I can see the numbers 1 and 2. And obviously 1 and 2 makes 3. I'm not if that's symbolic, if there's 2 and 1, or if this is the 12th. She puts a circle around the calendar in June. So this would be a significant anniversary in June that you would also understand, possibly around the 12th, or the number 12 being otherwise significant. She also takes me down the Kent coast, the southeast coast, towards Margate. I see there's links there to Margate. She's given me a family memory at the moment, or she's talking about some links down that way. So I'm looking for someone that would understand that name, Stacey, this female communicator, families, passed with a cancerous type condition. You would also understand the name Stacey and all this anniversary of June, possibly around the 12th. Okay, so Stace Shaw says she can take that. My grand passed with cancer. I want you to be able to take the other. Obviously, you would be the Stacey, so that would make sense. I would want you to understand the anniversary in June as well. So please, Stace, let us know that that makes sense too. My nana lived in Margate. Okay, that's great confirmation. And this communicator says yes, that's who I want to talk to. She Blue Eyes. I see Blue Eyes, and she was singing that Blue. No, it's the song Blue Eyes. Not that I'm a very good singer. I've got a tone deaf voice, which won't come across very well at all on Skype, I imagine, and Facebook or YouTube. I feel that she enjoyed that sort of almost like soul, uplifting sort of soul, almost like a romantic jazz type music. She feels that she feels good around that music. Stace, as I link in with you, then you understand this woman that was a mother and grandmother. She was nana to you. She lived in Margate. She's given that name, Stacey. She spoke about the cancer, and you understand that connection. You also would be able to take June and this number 12. As she links in with you, I feel like I've got a fond coast of fond memories of the coast and living there, enjoying that, but also feeling June, there is a birthday, my niece, on the 1st. Okay, thank you, Stace. That's very much appreciated. I keep saying Stace because that's your screen handle as it comes up, and I feel like your nana is correcting me. It's Stacey. Feel like quite almost abruptly, full stop, Stacey. She wants to correct me on the pronunciation of that. So she's given me fond memories of being with you in and around the coast. I know bits of Ramsgate, Margate, and around that area, but I feel like I'm enjoying the beach. Your youngest is 12 years old. Okay, there's the significance of that. Stacey, that's brilliant confirmation and verification for me. Thank you very much. as she communicates with me, she's got the rattler, almost the sort of rattler you would see at a sporting game, and I feel like I'm getting behind you in the same way I would get behind my team, and I feel that there's been reason to kind of G you up, G you forward, urge you on, and I feel like this has become almost a bit of competition or a bit of a race, and I've sort of seen you in this race. It's like a rattle, and I'm sort of making that noise. Yes, she hated my name shortened. No, okay, great. Also, good confirmation for me. Thank you, Stace. She comes forward and she wants to get behind you. She wants you to compete in this race, and she's talking about the significance of completing it, not necessarily coming first. She's talking about the okay, trickery. I was going to say she feels like there's an element of trickery involved here. That this is a complicated race, a race for you to think and stop, overcome, adapt. And she's talking about life at the moment. She's talking about you having to overcome and adapt. And she's talking about the fact that this hasn't come naturally to want to change your approach, but actually you've done it with brilliant resilience, and you've done this despite knowing that you didn't want to. And by morphing around that situation, she's showing you further on and progress in the race. So there she is with a rattler. Go, go, go. She's your biggest fan and pushing you forwards. Cheese and onion crisps. She's rattling this packet of cheese and onion crisps, and I feel like I can't open this packet that I want you to do something. So Stace says that she can understand that you're making big changes, taking a leap of faith, completing my dream of being a published author. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. As I say, try not to feed me too information, because she might have been able to give you that information about that book as well. She wants to talk about your writing, certainly for sure, but it feels like there's less impact now you've told me that information. But I'll pass on her message anyway. She talks about the variety, the scope of your writing. She's talking about some writing that you really like doing, something that goes very quickly in terms of the time and the amount of content you generate. And on the other side, she's talking about the fact that there is writing that you've had more of a block with, and this being more of an adventure, more of a challenge. Stacey, you've given me confirmation that you've had to change your approach with a family situation, and you can't get enough of them cheese and onion crisps. Okay. She was rattling a packet as well, but there was something there around her struggling to open that, and I don't know if she was then trying to reduce it, or this was a physical thing. I feel like it's possibly a memory, something to do with her fingers. If I've got an arthritic type condition around my hands and my knuckles, she makes me aware of there. But otherwise, enjoy the cheese and onion crisps. Leave a couple for her. She's talking about feeding the birds with some crisps, and her being identified as a robbing in the garden. Oh, that's Nana, and leaving the crisps out for me. She laughs at that, and she has a good chuckle. She wants you to keep on keeping on. She's talking about this writing block again, about this situation to overcome and adapt. You mentioned family, but she talks about the fact that you're kind of taking myth and you're taking truth, and there's a little bit of blending that with some of the ability you have to storytell, and she says that's quite exciting. She's also saying that she wants you to relax more and get your inspirers G'd up and behind you, so they can continue to work with you and inspire you to do the next bit of writing. We don't do fortune telling. It's almost impossible to predict the future because it's not yet written. The importance is about now. Yes, you saw Robin a few weeks ago. Thanks, Stacey. And she's talking about the fact that if you carry on with this amount of energy and this amount of input, she's talking about the opportunities to having your work read and acknowledged and accredited in more of an official way and open to a wider variety. You are continuing to do the right things that increase those opportunities. So she fingers crossed one hand, and with the other she's got the rattler, and she's like whoop 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 whoop. You can do it, you can do it. And it just feels like you need a bit more encouragement in your life to keep on keeping on. But Stace, your communicator was Nana. She talks about the cancerous type condition, and she talks about a real pain in her backside and a big frustration. Thank you for saying you can take that with the writing. She says to me that, okay, thank you, Nana. I feel like she wants me to call her Nana, almost like non-family members are welcome. I kind of wear this as a badge of honor. And she says to me that it became a nuisance, the cancer, in the sense that it was disabling her as opposed to enabling her, which is what she says you continue to do. You enabled her to do those things. So very happy where she is right now. She can finally get the volume right on the telly. She's making an analogy there about not getting the volume right on her telly. She must, yes, she tells me she moaned to you about the volume on her telly. She can get the volume right. Heaven's exactly where I need it to be. I can nip around. I can, point in and out of people's lives and be a bit nosy. I'm enjoying that. She sends you her love, Stace, and that was your message. Thank you very much for accepting it. Richard's telling me there's some feedback there and people saying they're enjoying watching the show. That's lovely to hear, Kath. Thank you for saying that. As does Amy. Lovely. Thank you, folks, for the feedback. It's always really encouraging. We say that being a medium, there mustn't be any type of ego. Anna and Mary say the same thing. But in truth, you need a level of ego to be able to get out of bed in the morning, let alone get out of bed in the morning, sit in front of the computer and start doing your mediumship. So I appreciate that. It's helpful for me as I learn about my relationship and trust in spirit. Thank you, Stacey. You're very welcome. God bless to you. We always appreciate your comments, and the more you sort of like and engage with the channel, the better the publicity for the channel. So that's hugely appreciated. Melanie Newbury says hello. Good evening to you, Melanie. Bill Hughes, fantastic medium there, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Hughes, great ambassador for what he does, great energy, and he's on next week on Spirit Productions TV, and hopefully again serving our divine service, which you'll always find on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock on Spirit Productions TV. Linda Parry, good evening to you. Beautiful rainbow above your head, as also good evening to Marcus. Lovely that you're all still saying hello. Jeanette Clark, good evening to you. Welcome, Jeanette. And Carl says hi from Scotland. Hi, Lisa. Good evening. Okay, so my next communicator is a man. As this man steps forward, he talks about being dad, but he wants to call himself Papa. Papa. And I feel I've got links to France with him. Brenda, hello. Welcome. The French links is waving the French flag behind him, and he calls himself Papa. Bridget Moore, hi. This man is family. He's Papa. I've had a heart failure with this communicator, and he's talking about not listening. Didn't do enough listening, had a few warning signs, had a few danger signs, had a heart failure. And he's talking about that being an evolution. I feel like I've had a couple of warnings. Okay, thank you. I feel there is this man that's communicating as well would have been a smoker. I've got like a very old-fashioned image he's given me of almost like a cigaretto, like a cigarette on a sort of, almost the type of thing a lady would use, but it feels like quite posh cigarettes. Mark Brown, good evening, mate. One of my friends and colleagues there. Mark, good to have you watching tonight. Philippa says hi from Teesside. Good evening, Philippa. Rachel, first time here. Very welcome, Rach. Lovely to have you with us. So, folks, I'm looking for someone that would understand Papa, my dad. And Lorna says that Papa was your dad. Lorna, you and I know each other from Wimbledon Church. I don't know everything about your life. Simon says, good evening. Hi, Simon. Maria, hi to you. Lorna, if this communicator was with you, I need you to understand the other things. Hi, Maggie. If there's anyone else that understands the message, please say that too. Tracy, hi, good evening to you. So, Lorna, you say you'd understand Papa as your dad. Obviously, I want them spirit side. I want the links to France, or there's certainly this love of French, almost like a French ambassador waving the flag. Carol says it could be her father-in-law from Italy. Okay. We want the heart failure. Good evening from France. Bonsoir, Margarita. First timer, welcome. Je suis heureux de faire votre connaissance, Mademoiselle Marguerite. That's the limit of my schoolboy French. Wendy Yates, also first time. Hi, Wendy. Papa. So we look Papa, French. I feel like we've got almost that element of French ambassador, almost like a vehicle with a flag on the front. I've got the smoking, what he's calling posh smoking. And I've got this heart failure. Martin Hazel, good evening to you. Lorna is giving confirmation. So you'd understand that as Papa and heart. Tell me what else you can say yes to. I want to this links to France with this guy. I don't think it was just the fact that he was known as Papa. I feel there are some other links to France there and the smoking. Let me ask him to give more information. 23rd. I feel like I'm asking for a significant date. I feel like I'm around 23rd of August as something significant with this man. I've also got the letter G. G for golf. Significant to him. I've got real pain, shooting pain in my right arm. Almost like my arm's gone dead. And he spoke about these warning and danger signs. I feel like there's something here with my right arm, almost like it's dropped, or I've had some problems. Lorna, you're still saying yes to things, and you've got office in G. I've got no idea what that means, but I think it means you're accepting the letter G. So you've had three yeses, Lorna. So unless anyone else is claiming this, Rich, I'm going to work with Lorna for the moment. And Macra. I'm not sure what MC Macra works, but you haven't said no to the French links as well, Lorna. Oh, office in France. There we go. Brilliant. Thank you, Lorna. Yeah, that all seems to make sense. So I've just said to everyone online that I do know Lorna from a time at Wimbledon, and I introduced her as our booking secretary, didn't I, at Wimbledon? But Lorna, I think it's fair to say we don't know everything about each other. So I will ask this communicator to give me information about you that I couldn't possibly know, because your daughter I'm very close to, Jo, and I was very close to her partner, Jill. Jill Hay was my circle leader. So the scope of the reading must reach above and beyond that, Lorna, and I'll be asking them to give me that evidence. And actually, all the stuff they've given so far, I didn't know about you. So that's great that you understand Papa in the office in France, the smoking and the heart to the warning and danger signs. Lorna, as he links in with you, that's my girl. Okay, I've just heard confirmation from him too. That's my girl. Lorna, he links him with you, and he is talking about you being his little girl, even though you've grown older. And I feel that there's been a significant amount of time that since we've had a proper chat and a proper conversation, but I'm very aware of your own spiritual awakening, and I'm very aware about the conversations he says that we have. Lorna feels that making fun of my French, saying it was terrible. And he spoke better French, and he spoke no French. He's making fun of me in that way. But he's saying effort and intention is what it's about in business, and he's talking about his big intentions and big inventions. My dad had office. Okay, Lorna. He also says to me that wants to invest in you. He was just talking, wasn't he, about intention and the importance of intention in business. He said, this is my girl. My girl means business, and her intentions speak louder than her words. Okay, your intentions are powerful, Lorna. So I know a little bit about that from the way you work and the way you show service and that unconditional love and support. But he's talking about your intentions to do well in this situation. Okay, he's also talking about young Mark. He is mentioning here, and he is talking about the fact that Okay. Feel this is physical cats. I was going to give that phrase of herding cats. He said, no, she's herding cats, actual cats. And therefore, you know the challenges that come with that. Joe, who isn't, called him Papa. Okay, lovely confirmation there. He spoke fluent French. Okay, well, that's certainly why he's taking the Mickey out. So no doubt any of our other French speakers would be able to take the Mickey out of me, but it was meant with the best of intentions. Lorna, he wants to give you a big hug for your intentions. I'm meeting Jill for the first time. So Jill Hay was my circle leader. It's Lorna's, I suppose, daughter-in-law, for want of a better word. No, that's exactly right, isn't it? My darling F. And they're meeting, he says, for the first time now, and she's agreeing, she's nodding, and he's also talking about a shift in belief, a shift in culture. So I'm not going to go into great details about that, Lorna, but you would understand that he said that he's had an evolution of character, not held back by the anchors of the past and the heritage of his culture, his foundations. He's about to go above and beyond that and open his own eyes. It's taken me a while, he said, to communicate because of my limited knowledge of the afterlife. And it was my own limitations of a belief in a life after death which put the walls around me. And it's taken me some time to recoup from that. I also feel quite frustrated that I didn't listen to you more. I feel I didn't listen to my wife at all. And there were these warning and danger signs, and I continued to burn the candle at both ends. And he's saying you recognise the importance of that, Lorna, and he's pleased that you have been doing some of that. Okay, so with Joe, wanting to make sure that she pushes forward. He would love Jilly, yes, they do very much, meeting this side and enjoying that, and the love, both of them sending their love to you and to Joe. He is saying that you've been trying to get Joe to slow down a little bit. So, as I say, I know your daughter Joe very well, and I'm very fond of her. But he's saying that she needs to listen to you because this isn't about doing things for others. She needs to make less sacrifice of her time and energy for others. And you've been the first person to tell her that she must only do that in pursuit of happiness, and that she must do things that make her happy. And Jilly just coming in now as well and saying that that includes an individual pursuit in happiness with people that make her happy. So absolutely right, Joe. Sorry, you're absolutely right with what you said to Joe. So whatever you said to Joe, Lorna, and you don't have to repeat it on here, he's saying absolutely spot on, and Jilly is endorsing it. Joe must push forward in pursuit of her own happiness, doing things that make her happy with people. And I feel like people is being underlined, with people that make her happy. That is very important. So Lorna, you're doing a great job. Papa, Dad, very happy with the foundations that you are laying, the foundations which you are propping up and supporting. It feels like there's been some reinforcement there, and he sends you his love, Lorna, and as does Jilly, gives her love to you all. So from my house to your house, Lorna, sending you some love, light and laughter to you, Jojo, and the rest of the family. Thank you very much, Lorna. That was your message from Papa. Okay, well, my next communicator is a man. As this man communicates with me, he takes me to my wedding ring finger. I'm very well, thank you, Lorraine. This is someone who is connected, hi Laura, as family through marriage. Becky, good evening to you. Thanks for saying hi. Bev, man, a lovely medium as well. That's her mediumship page there, Mediumship from the Heart. Thanks, Bev, for joining us this evening. So you'd understand this communicator as family through marriage. With this man, he's given me a name. So Lorna's saying her phone died. Hopefully, Lorna, you got the rest of your message. If not, play it back. The summary of it is you're very much loved and you're doing a great job. So keep on keeping on, and you can watch this on replay later or give me a tinkle. Right, my next communicator. Jill was quite keen to move your pupper on and say he's had his time. Move on. Next message, Ash. That's the discipline of my previous circle leader. Okay, so I've got a communicator on here. I believe it's a female, and I believe it is a lady linked to this man by marriage. I've got a link of in-laws here. He's also given me the letter L. L for Luigi, something like that. Luigi. I was going to say Louisiana, but it sounds a combination of Luigi, Louisiana. Ooh, it's that L. I'm doing, for those that don't know, I've got a 5-year-old boy, and I'm doing loads of phonetics with him. So I do lots of sounding out, and I keep hearing the letters replayed to me. McNally says hi. Mary McNally, hello there. Christine says, lovely readings, Ashley. Thank you, Christine. That's appreciated. Okay, so who on here understands this man who would be related to you through family and marriage? He is talking about links with this significance of this name, Luigi, something like that. Thank you, Tracy. Alison, thank you. So my eyes are so beautiful. Sharon says, wow, lovely. Right, this communicator that's coming through then as family, in-laws, he's talking about breathing. I feel I've had a significant breathing problem at the end of my life. He says, he's quite funny. Louis, David Jacobs says that Louis, I don't know if you're saying yes, you could be saying yes to Louis, possibly, but I'd need you to understand that this man who's connected to you via family could well be Louis or Louisiana, Luigi. I feel like it's a mouthful, and I feel like I need an accent to say this. I'm not saying it right, that this person would have had an accent. This significant breathing problem, it's far worse than a chest infection, far worse than a flu. It's sort of like fluid on the lungs. I've got a pneumonia type COPD, significant breathing problem, and I've got a shortness and sharpness of my breath. So it was quite funny. I was saying he had a significant breathing problem. He said, yeah, when I died, I stopped breathing. That's quite significant. Sarcasm is a fortitude of this man's humor. So David Jacobs, you say you can relate. You would understand this man in the spirit world that links to you through family relations, and I feel like I've got marriage and wedding there, and you'd understand Louis, and you can relate to the breathing. Okay, David. I'm going to work with you for a moment, David. If there are other people that suddenly take bits of this, I suddenly feel like the waiting room up there where Bob has got quite busy with people. I thought I was going to make contact with a woman, but this communicator for you, was it David Jacob? I also feel so. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, folks. I think I've got multiple communicators. David, going back to you, you'd understand that this man was on a ventilator, significant breathing problems, this pneumonia type condition, and this link to you via family. I feel like I've got a daughter-in-law that would understand another communicator in a moment with similar problems on the chest. And that would be more Louis. Louis is the link with you, David Jacobs, and the female, the lady that would understand. I think this would be a father-in-law in the spirit world. Okay, David, going back to you. Sorry, this communicator. Then you understand this link on a ventilator, David, as he links in with you. And he's funny. He is a funny bloke, and he's quite funny with sarcasm. Now, some people would say that sarcasm is a low form of wit. I've always personally enjoyed it, found it quite funny. He's going, absolutely, it's all about delivery. This man is a great orator. He is very good at speaking. I feel like I would listen to him. Very smart, very intelligent man that comes across, and he means business. For him, he's tapping on his watch. Move on, Robinson, move on, Robinson, calling him by my surname. And it's sort of like, time, come on, time is money, money is time, come on. And I feel like I've got this sense of leadership from him that I want to follow him as well. And I feel like I leave a legacy which I'm quite proud about in the business world. That should make sense to you, David. As he links in with you, It was very witty. Okay, thank you for that, David. As he links in with you, then in terms of a message for you, there's an important thing about saying here, "I'm all right." I'm all right, David. Actually, I'm better than all right. It feels pretty damn good to be where I am. And I feel that this is important for me to tell you this, as you've been asking about what it's like up here. And it's good. It is really good. And I've got everything I need. It's everything I need it to be and want it to be all at the same time. And David, I'm in a position that I can see you and I can see others and I can see the family blossoming and I can see you in business and I could see pit holes all around you, which you have intelligently navigated around. And he's putting that down to you, David. He's saying that this is you and your individual talent. It would have been easy to have dropped off and fallen into one of these pitfalls, but he's recognizing the fact that you have cleverly and skillfully navigated around that, and he wants to recognize that, David. He wants to say that that is really important to you to hear that, because it feels like thank you has become a dirty word in the professional world for you right now, and he wants to say damn good job, sir, damn good job, well done. And it feels like this is very sincere and he's very proud of you. He loves being able to dip in and dip out of this message and share that concept of the waiting room. Yeah, I ask all the time, what is he doing? Okay, good confirmation for you that he is listening and he is enjoying it. I feel that I'm drinking from a jug, my water, only water tonight. My granddad always enjoyed a pint and a jug. You have been fighting, okay. Is enjoying a jug of something cold. Almost got that taste as I was drinking my water. That was almost like it's going to give me that taste of the real ale. I don't know if that's that link he was giving me of my grandfather, because my grandfather was a real ale drinker. But David, he talks about this conflict, and he talks about you successfully navigating your way through it. It feels like there's been a lot of toing and froing. There's been a lot of what he's describing as verbal judo, pushing and pulling and sort of dragging, but you have skillfully navigated your way round. You've avoided the worst of the flack, he tells me, and he's very proud of you, David. He's very proud of you. He said, good job, sir. Jolly good job. Jolly good job. That's my boy. And I know we talked about this link through marriage, but he's very proud of you, and he has this almost like fatherly type pride in you, which is enjoying. So, David, I hope you've understood all of your message. You've understood your communicator. David, take my love and his. That was your message. Thank you very much, David. Okay. And hello, first time here, and welcome to Spirit Productions TV. I'm Ashley Robinson, your medium tonight. Lovely to have you here. Haley says good evening as well. Hi, Haley. It's great. We're still saying hello. Anne says new. I don't know if she said move on, new communicator, or she's new to the show tonight. But let's assume you're new to the show, and thank you for joining. Carla says first time watching you. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we're not disappointing, and you can see some evidence of life after death that people are able to accept. Okay, so I'm looking for a lady. This communicator is male, and I believe he is father-in-law. So I'm looking for a daughter-in-law. I think that is the link and the communicator. We had Louis as a name before, but conflict has been very active. Thank you, David. I appreciate that verification. Keep on keeping on with that. Keep your pecker up, sir. He says, keep your pecker up. Head ride. Know that you're doing the right thing, and keep on keeping on. You can confirm marriage. Thank you, David. That's appreciated. So, looking for a lady that would understand father-law in the spirit world. The Luigi, I believe, was my poor pronunciation of Richard. Sorry, was you going to say something there? Okay. Thank you. He's just scrolling through your comments. Maya Miller, even sorry. Welcome to the show this evening. With this communicator, this man is really struggling to swallow. Feel that It's hard for me to have kept down food. Carol says she can take that. My uncle-in-law is Luigi. Hi, Carol. Let's try and give you some more evidence then. So this is uncle through family, and this is Luigi. Carol, as this man communicates, he was giving me this sensation of eating, swallowing. I'm feeling quite sick. I feel that I've had a cancerous type disease that has spread and affected my stomach, my pancreas, around that area, and it has made me feel very sick. This is a combination of the disease. Take it away, my friend. Making me feel very ill, and this has taken its toll on me. Feels like fighting this disease really took its toll on me, and it left me emotionally and psychologically drained. Was at my wit's end. So, Carol, thank you for that confirmation. And he's telling me that the first thing he needed to do when he crossed over. Okay, Natalie says my mum's uncle-in-law is Luigi as well. Okay, I don't know if you know the other the other lady that was, I mean, it was Carol we were talking to. Natalie, hang fire. As I said, I've got a multiple of communicators with very similar bios, but I'm going to carry on working with Carol for the moment. But Richard, I'll ask you to do me a favour, because I will forget this message as soon as I've delivered it. Remind me of that other lady that also understood Luigi later, if that's okay. Carol, going back to you, your communicator, Uncle Luigi through family, and this cancerous type disease which has consumed me. But worse than that has been he said, the bloody treatment. It has done me in. It did my legs, and I was emotionally, psychologically done, to the point that when I died, all I wanted to do, even though I'd got rid of my body, that was the physical shell. My father-in-law had a fuss on the lungs. Okay, I mean that's going to be something on the lungs. I'm not sure if that's a typo, but I'm not medically trained, so fuss could be something I don't know about. But yeah, something on the lungs. You understand that it's affecting my breathing and my stomach and my just making me feel ill and difficult to breathe. Ollie san, I needed a good rest. And even though I was very aware that my physical body, which had let me down and had continued to be done by the treatment, this was actually a case of me needing to go off and rest and recuperate. And I was pleased to see that there was the opportunity of rest and relaxation, a spa in heaven, where I was taken away and I was slowly and methodically healed of the mind, because my spirit, my personality had become accustomed to that. So, Carol, you're saying you don't think my message. Okay, well, I said I had two communicators that were quite clear. So you meant fluid on the lungs. Okay, so Carol, you stay in there for a minute. Richard, I asked you to remind me of someone's name who I've forgotten already. Natalie. Natalie, my mum was young when he passed, but he can remember in hospital was oxygen mask on. Okay. Natalie, would you understand the first part of that message I said? Because I might have two communicators called Luigi. Yeah, obviously it's not the same Luigi, but understand this shared thing. It's Carol. Yes, so yeah, your communicator found it hard to eat, fluid on the lungs. Uncle Luigi, and Natalie, you had Luigi that had the difficulty in breathing and having to be on this mask, oxygenized, and it felt like this mask was almost keeping me going. And it was difficult towards the end, because there was an element of making decisions about what to shut down and what was just keeping me going. I don't know if I ended up having almost tubes into my nose or something like that. So that was for you, Natalie. Carol, going back to your uncle Luigi, who found it hard to eat, as he links in with you on that vibration. Carol, he's talking about you being outdoors quite recently, and I don't know if you've done something with almost like trying to physically ground yourself. Feels like you're almost taking off your shoes and your socks and putting your bare feet on the ground. And he's talking about you being quite attuned to almost the elements of the earth, and that physical thing of feeling the earth and the soil between your grounds. Ellie says that her son is Louis. Her partner lost his granddad, who was like his dad, and he had stomach cancer, sick all the time. The treatment completely drained him, but he's still not 100%. Okay, so Ellie and your communicator tubes in his nose as well. As I said, it felt like there were lots of similar communicators, almost all being grouped up. And I'm asking Bob to keep them to one side. Natalie, you say yes, your mum can take all about that uncle. Okay, so Natalie, I'm definitely with you as well. Carol, let me finish your message, and then it was Elsie or Ellie. There may be a third communicator there that would make sense as well. So Carol, your communicator, Uncle Luigi, finding it difficult to eat, talking about your own sort of spiritual knowledge, if you like, but being grounded, but enjoying that sensation. It's almost like I'm feeling the earth between my toes and enjoying that, the sand and the ground. Yes, you do that a lot. Okay, so Carol, I am with you, and that's Uncle Luigi. He was talking about the difficulty in eating. Let's just pass on his message, because he's talking about you being on quite an enjoyable and exciting path, and he's right by your side. It feels like you're in a position where you're looking to take some risk for fun, and he's talking about you being quite risk aware, and this being a change where you've been quite risk adverse and not wanting to take too much of a gamble on things. It feels like you're looking at taking more of a risk for personal gain, for enjoyment. And he's saying there are opportunities that come with risks, not just consequences. So he feels quite excited for you, Carol. He wants to give you some encouragement around that. And he's saying, absolutely trust your gut feeling on this. Your ability to listen and learn from your guts and feel that guidance and from your inspirers is absolutely true. And it feels like you're using this in juxtaposition with your moral compass. So Carol, keep on that path. It feels like some exciting opportunities that will come with taking some risks for fun. Now, I should contextualize when I say risks for fun. Taking risks for fun doesn't include jumping out in front of buses or anything like that. Risks for fun is like when I play rugby. You know, rugby is a risk. I might get injured, but I also might get to smash the person in front of me as I score a glorious try. So risk for fun in this context is not about reckless risk. It's about recognizing that we sometimes need to put ourselves out there. Understanding the risks is what Uncle Luigi says, Carol, that you're very good at, and you're prepared to take the risk, understanding there are some opportunities that are going to come out of this. So Carol, Uncle Luigi, you sat in a circle learning to be a spiritual medium. Lovely. Or you're sitting in a circle. Good. So keep on that journey. He is very excited by this. I think you're going to continue to get more evidence of you. It's almost like he's tapping on your, principal guide's shoulder and saying, "Oh, can I have some of this? I'd quite like to be involved," because he's fascinated by it, and he's fascinated by you doing this. He feels really interested, and that real connection you have with Mother Earth and the grounding you feel with the earth and the toes, absolutely loves that. You're going to be very aware of all the various energies. So Carol, that was Uncle Luigi eating I feel like eating pasta, which would be stereotypical, wouldn't it, of someone called Luigi, but he's saying I can eat anything I want now and not have that feeling. So Carol, have his love. That was your message. Carry on your journey. Look forward to seeing you all one night on Spiritual Productions TV perhaps, but keep up the good circle work. Natalie, you had contact with Luigi as well, your mum's uncle. This was his uncle-in-law, so this was an Uncle Luigi to mum. She was very young when he passed away, and he had some problems with his breathing towards the end of the life. And there is almost like this image, even as a child, of me suffering. He says, I felt like I was almost whining or I was going to say moaning. It wasn't moaning. It was almost like a pain, like I was whining or graining with this through this mask. And it was quite difficult because he's sort of almost like this sort of noise that he's making, almost like a groan sort of pain. And he's talking about the fact that she was aware of that, or she had seen that, or someone had said that to your mum, Natalie, and that he was very aware that it had been an image in her mind about him sort of almost suffering or struggling to catch his breath and breathe. He had these tubes in his nose and it was difficult, and he wants to give that confirmation that almost within seconds, split seconds of him no longer needing that physical body, he was at huge peace and relief, breaking away from the chain of a body that was failing me, he says, Natalie. And this is Luigi communicating, talking about being able to take those big, long and solid breaths and enjoying that and wanting to give that contact to you. But I feel like you're very much twinned with your mother. You've got a good, strong partnership there, and that although she spent a lot of time you inheriting her behaviors and her culture and her knowledge. There's an element that spiritually she is taking a bit of a steer from you, Natalie. That's what Luigi is telling me, that mum listens to you about this stuff and she's fascinated by it, and it feels that we are twinned at the hip here. We are able to go off and explore our greater understanding of the universe at the same time together. So as Luigi is communicating, he's letting you and mum know that he's absolutely okay, but he's also recognizing that you know me through mum, and you remember him in pain. Okay, good. Not good that you remember him in pain, but good that you have that confirmation that he's in no longer in pain. Physical body gone. Cut that anchor. I'm absolutely fine, and I come back to tell you that that pain, I couldn't even remember what the pain was like, but at the time it felt like I was failing. And there was something here with him and Luigi. I don't know if I've had someone come to my bed and say something religious, either some sort of religious summons to keep me here, or to tell me, oh, I don't know if it's my last rites or something like that, which has happened with him. But it almost kept him in his bed. And it was only at the point that he was sort of given permission. I feel like this is someone like a church pastor or a priest in some sort of way, but he's talking about the importance of being told to go into the light, because almost as soon as he was told about the light, his earthly body was able to get to a point of seeing that. So Natalie, you say definitely she is the best mum, and we talk about the spirit world all the time together, and we are very similar. Great. He loves that, and he loves that about you. He talks about the fact that you can't choose your friends that become through family, but you can't choose your family that become friends. But when you marry into a new family, new opportunity for friends to come in. He was very fond of your mother, even though our relationship was, I feel like saying distance. I don't know if we had limited contact, but very fond of you, and was also very aware of that impact I'd made in my passing, and wanting to give that that confirmation. So you're talking about his grandson being a priest, and it's almost like my limitation or my yes, okay, that almost limited my ability to move on. But when I was then told, oh, look for the light, all of a sudden there was the light. There was my mum to come and meet me and greet me and take me onwards. And then, yeah, no pain, all gone. And here I am in this absolutely incredible place. My grandson and his sort of priestly duties, it feels like he's starting to break the mold of the downloaded and inherited pearls of wisdom. He's starting to question some of that and open up his mind. And he's talking about him being very aware of life after death and the energy in between, which doesn't always have a label in his formal training. So Natalie, that was, I suppose, a great uncle through in-laws and relationship to your mother. But you've understood your communicator, and it sounds like you definitely are close with your mum. You've been able to confirm for her some of that message. He's also very excited by the new addition to the family, and I feel that we've got this brilliant reason to be excited again for the family expanding. So he's got lots of balloons, and I feel like I've got pink balloons. And often when they're talking about children additions to family, I keep it sort of simple, a bit like my brain. And much like the gender reveal party we did for my son, pink for girls and blue for boys, which doesn't always fit in 2020 language, but you would understand that, Natalie, and the reason to excite. Natalie, take his love and mine. That was Luigi communicating with you. Okay, there was an Elise or Elsie. No, it wasn't. I'm saying all that wrong. Ellie. I think it's Ellie. Okay, Natalie, that was your message. God bless you. Thank you very much. I feel that I've got another man communicating, and they've come together almost in three, and they're comparing warts and all about the reasons that they entered the spirit world and heaven. But Richard, if you can find that comment, I think it was someone there. And yeah, there we go. Ellie Maria Lucas. Hi, your son is Louis. Your partner lost his granddad, who was like his dad. He had stomach cancer and sick all the time. They completely drained him, but still not 100%. Okay, he had tubes in his nose. Ellie, I just want to check that this person, so this would be your grandfather-in-law, on your partner's granddad in the spirit. He is in the spirit world. I don't want to kill off anyone who's still very much alive. This person that was communicating was very fond from the spirit world of your son, who I think is Louis. Now I've got a nephew, Louis, and I'm seeing the photo of Louis in my head as confirmation that this message is for you, Ellie, and it is a grandfather figure, an in-law grandfather figure to your partner and your son together, Louis. I'm very fond of him from the spirit world. I'm very fond of his sense of excitement and his sense of adventure. But you understand this horrific stomach cancer I've had, and how it affected me, and how they had to obliterate it. It also took away the quality of my life, made it difficult for me to eat, and I feel like I've lost a lot of weight just before I've passed, and there wasn't an awful lot left to this. Ellie, yes, grandfather-in-law, thank you for that. As he communicates with you and he comes forward, again, he sort of shares that thing as we've compared in the waiting room our warts and all and reasons for being here. We realise as we compare that there's kind of, again, very difficult to explain, although they're able to give me sensations of that passing and how it made them feel, that it is their personality, their spirits, their soul, which continues a new life. Their body becomes very much a corpse. Now, this grandfather-in-law is playing back something I said yesterday on my show when we were talking about spiritualist philosophy, and he's just agreeing. He's saying to me that for him this concept was new in heaven as well. But yes, the difference between a living human being and a corpse is personality, and it's my personality that has come on, and I feel sometimes like I have a body but a healthier weight. Although I felt I had an ambition to lose weight and that I was overweight when I was before I was diagnosed, I feel like I lost too much weight. I felt like, particularly around my face and my cheeks, it just felt like I was almost sucked in by my cheeks. He's also talking about his teeth, Ellie. He's complaining about his teeth. I've got this sensation that I'm going to be sick, and I've asked him to take away because it is horrible, but I feel like I've had lots of problems with being sick, and this has affected my teeth in some way, and this has really hurt my my confidence and my ability to smile. So there's something about my teeth, and he keeps giving me the playing back a film that I watched as a sort of comedy with Mr. Myers, and the British spy, who wasn't happy with his teeth, but it's almost like he keeps highlighting that bit, and there's something that I'm not happy about with my teeth, and he's giving you that as a bit of evidence. But Ellie, moving on to your message, as this man communicates, very fond of your partner and your son together, he's also very fond of the two of you as a couple. He's talking about the fact that okay, I feel like I've had my I feel like I've had your partner almost slowing down a little bit and entering almost to a new sense of normality. And he's describing it almost like a satellite, almost like a moon or a satellite in orbit around you as the planet, and that you centering his gravity, and that actually you becoming more of your sort of true north and you choosing to follow him. So Ellie, you're saying this is spot on. Thank you for that confirmation. He says that this is really important because it feels like you two were like passing ships at night before you got together, but you then got together at the right time, and this being really powerful. Sorry, wiping my head, struggling with feeling a little bit hot and sweaty. Ellie, you two do wonderful things for each other, he says. Keep doing it. His teeth, yes. Okay, give him that confirmation. Thank you, Ellie. That's great verification. Yeah, you two are great together, and he's really happy. And it took the universe a while to get you two together at the right time. But look at little Louis. Look at what's been achieved. You two have created the perfect little human being. Although, okay, I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old boy, so I love being a parent, and being a dad is the greatest thing in the world. But I have challenging moments. 5 minutes before coming on here was one of those challenging moments of bedtime and getting dinner and, you know, cleaning faces and stuff. And they're just saying that, oh, it can be a real cheeky challenge at times, but what a lovely human being, and he is definitely inheriting the best of both of you to mimic those personalities. He's also been quite aware of not just me, but other spirit people, spirit children, and spirit animals. Ellie, they're saying that Louis has almost said something to you about animals that have come into the garden that you can't see, or the laughter of children where you could have imagined that he was playing with other children, and him being quite psychic aware, and this not being anything super sort of natural in a sense of fear or worry. This is just because of the love and light and the solid foundations you have at home, which is very well protected and very safe. And this is all good stuff. It makes it easy for spirits, animals, and babies and children to want to be close to you. And Ellie, a lot of that is because of the unconditional love that you project. It's like a lighthouse, a beautiful, beautiful light. So Ellie, he talks about that, and he talks about the power that you are two lights that come together and form this super light, and you do those things that make it easy. He shows me the pocket purse, which is often professional or professionalism and money. And it feels like he's rooting through it, looking for money. He's wanting to put a few more quid in your pocket. It feels like financially things have been challenging. There's been some real tests of resilience there, and there's had to be new opportunities explored and new ways of thinking. But he's also saying there are little seeds that have been planted there, and this is a good thing. There are opportunities just around the corner. So one foot at a time, one day at a time, one problem at a time, together you are going to be able to achieve anything. What a powerful family, what a beautiful family, he says, Ellie. Beautiful family. He sends you his love, and you have love, light, and laughter from me. Ellie, that was your message. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's bring our next communicator in. Tracy says all the evidence is amazing. Thank you, Tracy. Excellent mediumship. Thank you, Tina, my good friend there from Wimbledon. Christine Megan Woodham, my first circle leader. Reverend Christine Megan Woodham from Spain, tuning in to us today. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for those foundations you laid. Maxine Reed says hello. Okay, folks, just as I bring in this, thank you, Natalie, you're very welcome. As I bring in this next communicator, Carol, you're very welcome too. It feels like I've got a painter and decorator. Alan Salmon says, good evening, everyone. He's asking me to move out the way, which I'll do. You can see that my wife has decided to think about colouring for the study, which I often try and hide with my big fat head. But he's like, move out the way, get the opinion of the audience, and finally make a decision. Get that paint on the wall. Shirley Monaco watching. Shirley's like an honorary grandmother to me. Been around my entire life through Wilderness Spiritualist Church. Shirley, it's lovely to have you here tonight. You know that your partner Robin is in heaven, but he feels like I've met up with another partner of yours, and we're having a game of wits and chess. So that's a little message there you for Shirley. Lou says, amazing. Thank you, Lou. Really appreciated. Okay, so as I bring this communicator in, Rose Anderson, another honorary member of my church family and a wonderful medium, and you've never seen anything when to psychic tools and spiritualist tools like cards until you've seen Rose Anderson read a set of playing cards and give you evidence, fantastic evidence of life after death about them now. You'll often see her appear on our divine service. Wonderful woman and great medium. Okay, so who wants to take this painter and decorator? I will, if they can get my house done. What what brilliant physical phenomenon would that be if next time I come on, my study's been painted by spirit? That would be pretty fantastic. I don't know if it'd be Michelangelo or someone like that would come back and paint a mural, but I'd settle for just the same color on the wall. This man that comes in, he's really funny, and he is making fun of this. He's making fun of me. He's taking the mickey out of my weight. He's taking the mickey out of the fact that I'm not a real man and I should have painted it by now. That I haven't made a decision. I'm getting the letter L. And I feel this is an L for something like a Larry. Now, I could be mishearing that. It could be something like Harry, but I feel like I've got Larry. Larry. And he was a jack of many traits, but certainly painting, decorating, building is a skill. And he's talking about being a proper man's man. And he is funny. He is funny, almost on the verge of insulting, but because of his intention, it's not rude. He's talking about, he said, I wouldn't be caught, dead wearing a shirt with flowers on. And he's having some fun with that. His personality is actually quite magnetic. So there's nothing, loads of work for a decorator here. Valerie, I'll pass him on to you too. Okay, so let's try and place him then. So I feel like I've got family with this family watching online. Jennifer, good evening to you. First time watching from Andrea Reese. Thank you for that feedback. That's lovely. Nicola's first time viewer. We've got a load of first time viewers tonight, Richard, which is wonderful. Great. You're all always welcome on our shows. In my study, anytime you like. Okay, come. Let's get some more information. Boom, he says. So I'm asking him, what killed you? Boom. He said I was gone, and I feel like I've had boom, big impact. Right. Let me ask him about this. There's definitely something about my heart, and he's talking about this catastrophe. Catastrophe. He said, boom, I was gone, mate. Boom. Feel like I've got this impact with him as well, right above my head, between my eyes, above my nose. Amy, your granddad was a painter and decorator. Right, let's try and get some specific things so that people can say yes to. So I've got the name Larry, or certainly the letter L for Lima, that someone would understand as significant. I've got this male, this funny guy, this painter and decorator as he's communicating. Amy says she's got a Harry, not a Larry. As I say, could have misheard that because I'm not really hearing it at all. It's all in the mind. But I do feel the letter L was still significant, Amy. You'd need to understand that. And I feel I've had a bang to my head. I don't know if this guy is a Cockney, but he certainly has the ability to talk Cockney. My granddad was a South Londoner, and proper Cockneys, I'm always told, were East Londoners. But my dad and granddad could rhyme and slang and backslang and talk with a Cockney sort of accent and all that South London slang. It feels like this guy is very gifted with the lingo. He could almost talk in his entire language, short of words and other bits and pieces. He also is a practical joker. He's really funny bloke, and he doesn't want to take this too seriously. He said, even though I'm giving evidence of life after death, it's my personality you want, it's the personality you got. He's suggesting tartan paint. He said, go and find a tin of tartan paint, Ash. That'd suit you about that. And he's laughing about it. He's having real fun in laughing with us, and he wants the communication to be fun. He doesn't take himself too seriously. So I don't take myself too seriously. This is all a bit of mumbo jumbo. I'm just proving it can work in my way. So Amy, you seem to have accepted this so far. Your granddad was a painter and decorator. You got the Harry, the heart attack. The brother-in-law had a head impact as well. So Amy, it does look like I'm with you. Your mum is called Linda. That would be the L. Okay, so you've been able to dot up all the dots, join up all the dots, and I believe I am with you. Amy, as this man communicates with you, then you would understand this personality, this charming, magnetic character that I just want to sit down and listen to stories. I feel like I could sit there and buy him beer, and he could tell me stories. He could have some fun. He would, and through banter and wind-ups, would he show his love? You were in. You were one of the gang. You were one of his friends. If he was able to almost insult you without insulting you, all for the good of the laugh and the good of the fun. And he just wanted to get things done. Wanted to soldier on, get things done, get it delivered. It doesn't matter what it looks like, son. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Could look like a dying duck's backside as long as it's finished. Now it sounds like your brother-in-law, Cockney, and was a joker. I've got two people that are communicating at the same time, Amy. So if your brother-in-law is spirit side as well as granddad, I feel like they're possibly having some fun and some banter together. But I would need both heaven side, both in spirit, because that's where the fun and the banter and the jokes are coming from. Granddad is the principal communicator, and I've got a younger man with him with the head injury or the head impact, certainly heart attack with the man that's got this granddad personality. It reminds me a lot of my granddad. As I kept saying about both my grandfathers in the spirit world now, and although they were South Londoners, they had the ability through work and profession. You know, one granddad was a barra boy, the other was a docker at Waterloo, an occasional bare knuckle fighter and trade union man as well. So, you know, lots of different things they got involved with in that time. But Amy, I do feel I am with you. I feel like I've got this younger man with the head impact, and I've also got this older man who's a real sort of seasoned veteran of painting and decorating, both in spirit. Great. Not great that they're both in spirit, Amy. That's, of course, sad. It's sad when the people we love aren't physically around us, but also great that they can come forward, give you that evidence of their life after that change we call death. We know, and I spoke about this yesterday, that for want of a better word, science and religion is coming closer. And your brother-in-law is quite fascinated by this. He reminds me of a story, and he said, if science was a bloke and religion was a bloke, they might have started on the same point on Earth together, but they both went off in alternative directions, believing what they did and exploring their concept. But as they circled the length of the Earth, they got to the furthest point that they ever far away, where religion and science had almost nothing in common, although at times religion would have had the ability to claim science, and science would have said that there wasn't much about religion. It feels as they continued on their journeys, they not only did they get further away, they got further away from their start point, but they joined again, and it's where science and religion meets again. And your brother-in-law is particularly fascinated by this concept that science is meeting religion. The scientific term for us right now is energy. The spiritualist term for our personality, energy. And we know that energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed. And your brother-in-law said, oh, that's what happened then. It all sort of makes sense now. Richard, you'll be pleased to know that Spirit are going back and I think listening to your videos and talking, they're replaying some of my philosophy. I am with Amy, but Kerry says her granddad had a heart attack, banged his head. My uncle died of a brain tumor. My granddad was a joker. Called okay, Kerry, stay on standby. I have Amy at the moment, but what's happened a lot tonight is I've had almost buy one get one free readings. That communicators have almost come in joint. So I've already forgotten her name, Richard, as I am with Amy at the moment, but I'm going to focus on that. I'm not a strong multitasker, Kerry. Okay, Amy, talking to you, granddad in-law, brother-in-law, having some fun together. And there's this sense of relief as your brother-in-law talks about this concept and proof of me coming back and me being energy. It's almost like nothing's changed. I have not suddenly downloaded the pearls of wisdom from the great architect of the universe and become a deeply religious man, a bloke I was going to call him, but I am more aware. I'm more aware because my higher self is almost at a point to joke with me and judge with me. But I come back to you with that same personality you would recognize while I was alive. The thing for me is no one's stopping me from being I can still have the same amount of fun and games. And actually, the opportunity for me to be a little mischievous from spirits is one of the things that excited me. So, Amy, don't panic. He's not going to suddenly come back and haunt you, but he is fascinated with the ability to do something physical, to show out or to make something move. I feel that he's experimented with things that are already moving and trying to change them. Amy, he's talking about a curtain or a blind almost performing in an unusual way. And he's talking about the fact that this curtain is in itself made of atoms and is in itself intelligent energy. I'm intelligent energy and we can work together. And I feel like I've manipulated a curtain or a blind in some way, which you found peculiar anyway. So Amy, just plant that little seed. He's fascinated by that and he's going to want to do more. Grandad very much keeping in him line and won't get him to any much trouble, but it feels like Grandad enjoys the fun and of his company and that ability to have a drink. Amy, it feels like we want to pull your hair down. And your brother-in-law is saying he likes your hair down, or you've just put your hair down, you've done something different with your hair, you'd grown it and then cut it or something like that. But he's very very much, he's thumbs up, said always compliment a woman on her hair, even if you don't like it, but he does. He's thrown in that even if you don't like it, because he's just funny. He's a funny old wind-up guy, but I love him. I love both of these guys. They're very sincere people that I would be proud to call friends in my family too. So Amy, you've had granddad and brother-in-law communicating, sending you both their love, going out of their way to give you that glimpse and show their personality, that it has not changed and has not wandered too far. So Amy, thank you for working with me. Those were your messages from your family in spirit. Richard, if you can bring up that previous comment about Grandad. Oh my God, my blind does all. I'm choosing that unless you've got loads of bling. Blind even. There we go, Amy. Thank you very much for that confirmation. You know, we could have had like an Ali G or Mr. T style blind that was full of bling. Said I'm not going to get it cut now. Okay, so he's talking about the hair. Well, they like it. They like it long. They're saying it suits you, and you've got the opportunity of various styles. For Grandad, this is very unusual to be commenting his on women's hair and talking about it. But he's like, it's got lots of different opportunities now. There's lots of different things you can do with it: up, down, left, and right. Okay, Kerry, your granddad had a heart attack. He banged his head, and your uncle died of a brain tumor. Your granddad was a joker, called everyone Larry. Kerry, I do believe I'm also with you, and it's your granddad that is the communicator. But again, he is with another younger person, and you're saying that could be granddad and uncle. Now, the confirmation from Larry, my father-in-law often refers to everyone as Bert for some reason, to the point my 2-year-old Noah always says, "Granddad, I'm not Bert, you're Bert." And I feel like I've got someone here. It's almost like a nickname in the same way you might refer to a Jack. And I feel like I've got this trait with him. All right, Larry. It's that sort of, all right, Larry, how's it going, Larry? He spoke to Larry. It's almost like I didn't even okay, I was going to say he didn't know the names. He's like, I didn't even bother to learn some names after. Well, everyone answered to Larry. With Grandad and the heart attack, banged his head. You're talking about this fact that I feel that I've had this shock of the heart attack, and it feels like if this wasn't written in my destiny to die, then bang in my head certainly was almost like the final straw. Your uncle, on the other hand, I feel like I've had something far more complicated, something quite malicious that has grown underneath and has started to show out in the form of very, very small warning signs that something wasn't quite right. But I feel this was misdiagnosed. I feel this is Grandad talking. He's talking about your uncle. He's talking about the brain tumor. All people were putting it down to anxiety or a bit of stress. And by the time they realised what it was too big. It had spread. It was in such a dangerous part. There was almost nothing we could do. And I'm going down to the right hand side. Kerry, great. I think that's a laughing emoji. So you're saying that, seeing you recognise that personality. Lovely. Kerry, with your uncle keeps turning to the right hand side. I'm starting to take that back. Kerry, you won't know, I've had a stroke about 10 years ago and also had a mini stroke in February this year. Some of those symptoms of the stroke, I feel like they're almost touching base with the brain tumor, and I feel like I've had something which has affected my ability to speak and communicate, and I feel like I was sinking down to my right hand side. 1 second. Oh, pardon me, take that away. 1 second. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, Richard. Kerry, this your uncle was coming forward. Felt like he was really keen to almost give some type of physical phenomenon. Now, I'm not a physical medium, but he wanted to sort of show that there was something striking about those characteristics. You're saying he was unwell for a few days before. They didn't know it was until late. Okay, you'd understand that. Felt like he was really trying to show, and what he was trying to get that through. I've asked him to take it away now, and he has. I surrender myself to the will of the communicators. So, for those that are tuning in for this a few times, there's absolutely no way whatsoever that anything can happen to any medium, or for that matter, any person without your permission and without your consent. That simply doesn't exist. They're never going to get past your guardian angel. But when I work as a medium, I surrender myself to the will of my guides and the will of the communicators. So, although that was an uncomfortable feeling and sensation, it was about me learning more about that person's condition to go that far. So yeah, hopefully it comes. But wanted to caveat that I was in absolute control at all times. It was this sense and this frustration that people weren't listening to me. He gives that element of his personality before he died. After he died, quite funny, and he just sort of said, they could stick on my memorial stone, I told you I was sick, and he sort of winks and he smiles. So Kerry, he's got that personality from before I was ill, and he's able to laugh about it now. But I was angry that things weren't quite right, and I didn't know what was going on until it was too late, and boom, I was gone. Kerry, they both communicate with absolute love and light. And as I say, I was asking him to give me that confirmation. It was your granddad communicating initially. I wanted to try and bring in your uncle with the brain tumor. He gave me those symptoms and those feelings to help me understand more about his personality and the frustrations he had. He dies unregretted. He's very happy where he is now. He was feeling pretty angry about the things that were going on, but that fizzled away. I didn't have too long to psychologically get wound up by this tumor. And actually, it meant that when I died, it almost happened so quickly that I was able to free myself of that physical body and shell so quickly that everything was grand, he says. Everything was grand. With your uncle, I've got these links to Govan, I think in Glasgow. He's just given me that link. There's like a little pin on a map. Now, I've been to Govan in Glasgow, and he was saying, yeah, I've been there too. There's a significant link for him there. He's also giving me a December birthday. So my son was born on the 10th of December, and I'll tell you that in case you want to send him a card. No, I'm joking, Kerry. He's telling me that is also significant for him. There's an anniversary and a birthday in early December. Kerry, your granddad and it was your uncle-in-law, but with a brain tumor, the heart attack, communicating there. Kerry McGregor, that was your message. Have their love and light. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come towards the end of the evening. It's been a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for all your beautiful comments and feedback. It's always really lovely to hear and see. We have come towards the end of the night. I wanted to let you know about a couple of other things on Spiritual Productions TV that are well worth looking. So Mia says, tell him Power Green is always a good vibe, but he would look good with Power Blue. Okay. I don't know if that's the paint on the back of my study or something totally irrelevant, but Maria Miller, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Ashley Robinson, and I would like to say thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm now going to give you a couple of adverts about a few bits and pieces well worth checking out. We love doing things as spiritualists in service of others, that unconditional love, and what a great way to show that through service to charity. The Indie Rose Trust looking after children with, I think that's with brain injuries, isn't it, Richard? Brain tumours and spine injuries. So we're doing a brilliant charity night Thursday the 6th of August. You've got over a dozen different people, presenters, hosts, mediums and demonstrators that have been working on Spiritual Productions TV. There's going to be a very fun and silly night with lots of laughter, our own version of Celebrity Squares. We're going to be doing some very, very silly questions by way of quiz, but also give you the opportunity to donate towards this charity and ask us some questions. So join us on Thursday the 6th of August from 8 p.m. on Spiritual Productions TV. there are some wonderful goodies which we've been donated for. So do check out this show. It will be streamed on Facebook Live for sure, and I believe YouTube. And there will be some goodies to give out to people on the night. So join us from Tuesday, the 6th of August from 8 p.m. Come with PayPal or credit card details to donate towards the Indy Rose Trust. And we look forward to seeing you there. I'll be there on Thursday, the 6th of August, possibly with one of my sons as well. And a divine service. I've mentioned my beautiful home base at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. This incorporates our sister church, Hatbridge, as well. And every Sunday at 11 a.m., we are committed to streaming our divine service, which is an address, some spiritual readings, and a demonstration of clairvoyance. And tomorrow morning, you've got my mum and dad leading that service with a wonderful trance medium called Anthony Lapsley. So Sunday 11 a.m. do check that out tomorrow morning, our divine service. It will be live from South London, Wimbledon, SW19. We're going to keep the church open for as long as we can. There are a lot of complications and barriers to overcome with mandatory face coverings and bits and pieces, but we're going to do the service live from Wimbledon with a very small congregation and going out to the World Wide Web, a divine service with Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. The Sunday Sofa. Join these wonderful ladies as they talk about everything spiritual. This includes some live readings at Sunday afternoon from 2:30 British Summer Time. The Sunday Sofa, Spiritual Productions TV. In Search of the Paranormal with the Southern Ghost Society. This fortnightly show is all about the paranormal, Sunday nights from 8 p.m. on Spiritual Productions TV. Join them in Search of the Paranormal with the Southern Ghost Society, live on Facebook and YouTube. That's me having a little play with some voiceovers, folks. Richard and I were warming up my voice and testing my microphone before the site. If you think I've got a beautiful face for radio and voiceovers and not video, then do let me know at Ash Robinson Medium. Find me after this show on my Facebook page. If you have had a reading tonight, I would love to get a review from you on that Facebook page. Friends, family, it's been great that you've evening. I've loved working with you. I've loved meeting some of your loved ones, and I look forward to seeing you all again. I've been Ashley Robinson. Thank you. Good night and God bless.